Hey guys, so this video I will explain about 6 Euphoria and if you should pull for him or technically build up his Euphoria if you already have it. So first of all, let's talk about his debuff, his skill 1. He have 6 type of debuff in his collection of debuff, and that is crit defense down 30%, crit resist down 20%, damage reduction 20%, and then defense reality 20% and mental 20%. With fracture 2, and fracture 2 is basically when the enemy have this debuff, and if you attack the enemy, it will then there will be a genesis damage. All right, so all his debuff now is actually really good. Okay, if you really are able to inflict all of them on the enemy, it is actually pretty significant. So basically you inflict debuff through his skill 1 and also his ultimate. Okay, so you use his skill 1, it will deal 120% mental damage, but that is not the main thing that we want to get out of it. Is actually the random effect from collection of debuff. So if it's rank 1, you will inflict 2. If it's rank 2, you will inflict 4. If it's rank 3, you will inflict 6. Okay, and the duration also increases based on rank. And he will also gain 1 Eureka when he uses this skill if he has 4 or less Eureka. And if the target has all the debuff that is available from the collection of debuff, he will further inflict 2 more debuff, and that is negative status, poison, 2, 4, or 6 stacks depending on rank, lasting for 2 rounds, and 3, 6, 9 stack of burn. And for his insight, before the ultimate takes effect, it will apply 2 random collection of debuff effect to all enemies for 2 rounds. Here also I want to emphasize that although he inflict poison or burn, you don't really want to put him in the poison or burn team. So basically it's just more negative status. Apart from debuff, he also can apply a lot of buff, but only on one ally. Okay, the collection of buff is 20% damage dealt, 20% follow-up damage dealt, 20% penetration rate, 30% incantation, 30% ultimate might, and 30% genesis damage dealt. So like if you have all of this, including the debuff on the enemy, he is actually a very good support. It's just that are we able to inflict and buff all of this buff on the character or basically our main DPS, but this we will talk about in a moment. Anyway, skill 2, duty, 1 target buff, it purifies 2 random stat down, so you have purification here, which is very useful. And similar to discipline is that based on rank, he will apply more buff on our unit, okay, on our ally. So 2, 4, 6, and for 2, 3, or 4 rounds. So it's similar. If the target has all of the buff available from the collection of buff, he will grant them Empower Incantation, which will increase the rank of their incantation in the next round, and 10 Eureka. So in addition, the 15% mental and reality defense, as well as Vitalize and Ricochet, which was in his previous collection of buff, that is now granted passively at the start of each round for 2 rounds. So it will just be there. Don't worry about it, okay? You will always get this additional defense. Again, that is very good. Okay, for his insight related to his buff is that at the start of the round, applies 1 random collection of buff effect to all allies for 2 rounds. Now, for his Eureka and Moxie, first of all, his insight give him 6 Eureka, so max Eureka plus 1, he have actually 6. At the end of the round, if any one ally has 4 or more stats up, positive status or counter status, he will gain 1 more Eureka. And that is very easy to achieve now because he already buffed up the entire team with 4 buffs. So this is guaranteed. Okay, you will get 1 Eureka per round. And when attacking a target with stats down, the damage dealt is at by 16%. But again, now you are no longer using him as a DPS. Previously, his damage is pretty good, but now you will not be doing that anymore because of power creep. A lot of units now do way more damage than he does. For Euphoria, ultimate cost from 5 to 6. Upon entering combat, increase max Moxie to 6. At the end of the round, gain 2 Moxie. So if you don't do anything, he's just standing there. Every 3 rounds, he will definitely be able to use his ultimate. And since we're talking about his ultimate damage has increased, but I say we are not really too concerned over the damage. But here it deals 1400 mental damage. If at 6 or more Eureka, he will spend 6 Eureka to deal 150% increased mental damage up to 4 times. But at P0, this is very hard to achieve because getting 6 Eureka is not easy. He get 1 Eureka per round. If you use Discipline, you get 1 more Eureka. So here you are looking at every round. First round, 1 Eureka, you use Discipline, so that's 2. Second round, you get another 2. But in the third round, you will not get Eureka from from Discipline, right? From your skill 1. You won't get it anymore. So which means by round 3, you need to get the Eureka passively, and then in round 4, then you only get it. So it's like his ultimate is already up because he get 2 Moxie every round. And then you are just going to delay it because you don't have enough Eureka, which is pointless because you should just use it as his primary objective is actually to inflict the debuff so that your team does more damage. So don't think too much about this Eureka if you're using him at P0. So the main question here that we want to ask is that can he fully buff a unit? Can he fully debuff an enemy? Here is one part where I did not know previously when I was playing the Chinese version is that when he applies the additional, like when you have 6 debuff, then you inflict poison or burn. If you have 6 buff, you will give the character empowerment and 10 Eureka. So that happens after the buff. Like now you have 4 buff. So technically you do not have all 6. But now you use skill 2 duty on your DPS, then it will apply another 2 more. So in this round, at that moment, you will get 6 buff. And then he will also grant empowerment and plus 10 Eureka. Same for the enemy. Like you use debuff, at the moment he has 2. And then let's say you get the ultimate. So this round you use ultimate and then you use a debuff again. And that will allow you to get up to 6 debuff and he will inflict poison and burn. Alright? So basically for his rotation, what you want to do here is that you want to use both. Okay, S1, S2 every single round if you want to apply all the buff and debuff. And that makes him very AP hungry. Although he is very generic, you can use in any team because his debuff is quite generic. Some of the buff is not, but it has a little bit of everything for everyone. So you can put him anywhere, but he is very AP intensive in that sense. Okay, so you want to use both of his skill every single round. So here I say, for example, in terms of debuff, round 1 you inflict 2 debuff, round 2 now you inflict 2 debuff, and then in round 3 the first 2 debuff is already gone. Okay, so in round 3 you use ultimate and then you use debuff. So now you have 6, you will inflict poison and burn. As for the buff, first round you apply 2, but you gain 1 for free, right? Remember, at his insight, you get 1 every round for free. So in round 2, you get 1 more for free. So now you have 4. You use the skill again, and then you have 6. By the time you hit round 3, first 3 buff that you apply in round 1 will expire, and now you reapply. So basically, by doing this, giving him 2 AP per round, he will be able to ensure all his debuff and buff will be applied on your DPS and on the enemy at all time. Okay, again, it's just AP intensive because you need 2, and when the time he have ultimate, you need 3 AP. So here is a less AP intensive rotation. What I would suggest is just, this is generic, right? Like you're using him in any team. Just focus on one. Maybe his debuff, because his buff, not everything is applicable to everyone, like Genesis damage, ultimate damage, incantation might. You either want one of this, like Genesis maybe for poison team, and then like ultimate for ultimate team, incantation for follow-up attack team, for example. And there's one more, follow-up attack damage plus 20%, which also not everyone can use it. Okay, so I would suggest if you're really going to use him generally, you want to focus on his debuff only, and then he'll become less AP intensive. You just need 1 AP per round, and when his ultimate is up, you need 2. So the rotation is out, then use S1, then round 2, S1, then you repeat. Okay, but if you really need the buff, then yeah, out, buff, round 2, buff. That's it. Okay, and one more thing I want to mention is Liang Yue. Liang Yue will be getting Euphoria this patch as well, and it actually synergizes pretty well with 6. That's because Liang Yue has the green zone that extend buff and the red zone that increase the rank of the incantations. So with that, it will make 6 less AP intensive. That's because since the buff now can last for 3 rounds, and when he apply 4. So if you use it every other round, like first round you apply 4, next round you don't do anything, the third round the 4 buff is still there, and now you even get 2 free buff, right? So you have 6. So by the time in the round after that you apply the buff again, then you will be able to apply empowerment on Liang Yue. And for the debuff as well, you inflict 4. Now you use ultimate, you inflict another 2. The enemy has 6 debuffs. So you can inflict poison and burn, which also help Liang Yue because her AoE follow-up attack will do more damage if there is more poison or there is more burn. So 6 at the moment is for Liang Yue, but I'm not sure in the future if there is another specific team for 6. The issue is that Liang Yue already have her own team, like He Guang and Flutterpage is just better. So yeah, would you really want to use 6 in Liang Yue's team? Okay, so there's something to think about. So should you pull for 6? Yes, if you temporarily need a support for Liang Yue, but temporarily need, like if you are a beginner, actually I don't really recommend you to get 6. Just plan for getting He Guang would be better. So yeah, but if you like already have 6 lying around and you want to build his Euphoria, you can if you want to. So you can use him as a temporary support for Liang Yue, especially if you don't have Flutterpage. And if you get He Guang, then you don't have the 3rd unit, right? So now you can slot in 6. But again, if you have Mercuria, then just use Mercuria. If you have Flutterpage, then you have the best meta DPS team right now in the game. Okay, so you don't pull for him because he doesn't belong in a team, and dedicated support for a certain team is definitely better than what 6 can provide. And maybe until more information about Eureka team is revealed, but for now, don't pull for 6. Additional info, the plus 10 Eureka that he provides when you have all 6 buff, I'm not sure who is that for, because at the moment nobody need that many Eureka, and impromptu team definitely you don't want to put 6 in there, and Liang Yue don't have Eureka. So this is why I suspect there should be a new archetype that focus on Eureka, and he will belong in that team. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.